Hey everyone, and welcome to A Letter to My Boys. And here's our question for the day.
Hey Charlie, hey Teddy, it's me, Poppy. Today is September 11th, 2017, and our question for today is, what was the most exciting flight you have ever taken? And for me, there are two answers. Exciting in a good way, and exciting in a bad way. I'll start with the exciting in a good way flight. The best flight I've ever been on was my very first, for a number of reasons. It was the first flight I had ever taken, so there was a real novelty to it. It was the first time I'd ever been to an airport, ever went through security, ever boarded a plane, ever put baggage in an overhead compartment. So all of these things were new and really cool to me. In addition, this was before September 11th, 2001. So, flying was a much different experience. Before September 11th, 2001, flying was cool. It was easy, and there were no hassles. Going through security was a breeze. You could bring on basically whatever you wanted. So we had a soft cooler with sandwiches and drinks, and most of the people on the flight were in a really great mood because they didn't have to go through tough security and have an unpleasant experience. Not only was it my first flight, but B, I was going to visit my grandfather, my Poppy. Now, your great-grandfather lived in New York for most of his life, but after he retired, he moved down to Florida, to Orlando. So on this trip, we were going to visit your grandfather, your great-grandfather. And he lived in Florida, in Orlando. What's in Orlando? Disney World. So, A, it was my first flight. And B, I was going to visit your grandfather. But C, I was also going to Disney World. Okay, so that's my really best flight, going to Disney World, my first flight. My most exciting in a negative way was a flight in 2009, February 12th, to be precise. And I remember the date because I was flying from JFK in New York back up to my university, the university at Buffalo, to visit some of my friends, my older roommates, Ryan and Craig. Now, during this flight, everything was fine. There were no angry passengers, the flight attendants were nice, the food was okay, and the trip was pretty easy. However, things got interesting after I landed. When I landed, I found that the airport was almost completely empty. There were no police vehicles, no ambulances, no firefighters, nothing. And most of the staff was also gone. There was a reason for this. A flight that was about 15 minutes ahead of mine in the flight path had crashed. It crashed about 5 miles away from the airport. Now, when I had flown over the suburban area around the airport, I noticed that there was a fire. But I didn't know that it was from anything special. I thought there was just a house on fire. It was only later on that one of my friends picked me up that he informed me what had happened. A passenger plane with about 50 passengers on it had crashed right before mine. So, I've had both really great experiences and really scary experiences flying. So the next time you're on a flight, make it a good one. Love you, boys.
Okay, and now that you've heard my answer, go find me and tell me yours. I love you guys.